Hey everybody, let's talk about raising chicks using a broody hen. So I have a love, mostly hate relationship with using broody hens to hatch out my chicks for me. There's definitely some perks to it. You know, it's nice not having to monitor an incubator, and it's nice not having to clean out a brooder. It's definitely a more natural way to raise chicks. The problem is, nature is brutal. Let me give you a story of what happened 2 days ago. So right now we have 3 broody hens, and they've kind of had this chick hatching assembly line going on that worked out pretty well. They have 2 that are monitoring the older kids and 1 that's staying in the dog house that they've been hatching under, and she's been hatching out the rest of the eggs that are remaining. And at this point I think we were up to 9 chicks that have hatched, and this was the first day that they had actually started taking the chicks out of the run to free range with the rest of the flock. So it's always really cute to see a mama hen and her babies walking around the grass and the babies playing and exploring. I do love that. But a storm blew through. And before we went inside, I did check on them, and the mamas both had all the babies underneath them, and they were sitting under a tree. So they looked like they had everything under control, no problem. We went inside, we ate dinner, and then about an hour and a half later, we came outside to put everyone up because the sun was setting. So I always am in the habit of checking the perimeter of my run whenever I'm putting the birds up at night, just to check to make sure everything's good, but I especially do that now that we have babies. And thank goodness I did that night, because right outside the run on the ground was a baby laying there lifeless. And honestly, I thought it was dead. And what happened was, at some point in the hour and a half that we were inside, the mamas had decided to move the chicks back into the run underneath their doghouse where they had hatched them. And in doing so, this baby got separated and it got outside the run, which our run has hardware cloth on it for predator protection. So he wasn't able to hop through the fence and get to mom. Now you can tell I'm not a true YouTuber because I experienced an emergency situation, and my first instinct was to take care of the emergency instead of grabbing my camera and filming. Such a rookie mistake. You can probably blame my training as a nurse for that. But needless to say, I don't have footage of finding the chick. But what happened was, I picked the chick up to see if it was actually dead or not, and its mouth did move. So it was alive, barely, but its body was super cold. So I held it against me and I ran inside the house. Now here's where I was able to get some footage. I grabbed my hair blow dryer and I set the baby on my lap and I started blow drying it. Now, if you are not someone who already owns a hair blow dryer, it's actually a really useful thing to have in your emergency kit if you raise animals, because sometimes you need to have a concentrated source of high heat for situations like this. And a hair blow dryer works a lot quicker than like using a space heater in a bathroom. It actually worked out really well. And it only took about maybe 5 or 10 minutes for the baby to start drying off. And pretty quickly it started being a lot more responsive and it started looking a lot better. So after about 15 minutes, it was looking really good. It was still a little bit listless. It wanted to sleep a lot, which was concerning for me, but I ended up blow drying it for about 30 minutes. And at that point, its body temperature was back to normal and it was looking pretty good. At this point, I was trying to decide if I wanted to set up a brooder to keep it in overnight, with the heat lamp extra low so it could get really warmed up. But ultimately I decided that these chicks, you know, they've imprinted on their moms, they're used to having friends, and I figured it would just stress it out even more if I try to keep it inside overnight. So at this point it's like 9:30 at night, it's pitch black, the mamas are still underneath the doghouse brooding the rest of the chicks. So I just snuck the baby out there and I set him right underneath one of the moms. Like, I physically lifted her up and I set him there. So I knew that he was going to be warm and wouldn't have to move around to get warmed up. And the next morning, the first thing I did when I let everybody out was I checked the doghouse to make sure we didn't lose him, and we hadn't. Everybody was accounted for. Everybody looked really good. So this story has a happy ending, thank goodness, because I was going to be really sad if we happened to lose that baby. So a friendly reminder, you guys, if you are using a broody hen, it's not as hands-off as I wish it could be. Murphy's Law is especially true with chickens, I swear. If they can find a way to hurt themselves, they're gonna do it. So let me know down in the comments below what your experience has been using a broody hen to raise chicks for you. I'd love to hear it. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It's a free way to help my channel out. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.